All right, welcome in, boys. We are live. Take it to the bank, Richmond. As always, got my guy Coop here with me. Coop, it's a pretty good week, my guy. How are we? How are we this week?
And we've been taking it to the bank, man, the last couple of weeks, and
Yeah, we
you
have.
know, the 3 weeks prior to that, we could have taken it to the bank too, man. I mean, it could have been an incredible 5 week run, man.
It could have been the best 5 week run we've had since we've known each other, no doubt. Yeah, for sure. But you know
So
what? Nonetheless, if you are a fan of Take It to the Bank, Coop and I got the chicken for you. 19 units at New Hampshire, thanks to Monday Marty. We come right back at Pocono. We had everybody up front, so we really couldn't do any wrong. But Denny Hamlin gets the chicken. We end up making a boatload there. 35 unit week for the boys. Right now, we're up 14 units in July. We're up a little under 90 units since we started the website. And you know what, Coop? Things could be worse, my guy. Things could be worse.
yeah, I was looking at that 14 for the month, man, and just thinking that it started at -20.
We were on July 10th, 23 units in the hole. Yeah. Unbelievable. And when you think about it, Coop, we left a 90-1 parlay on the table. We
Oh
left
yeah,
Haley
I
on the
mean,
table at 300.
those 23 units in the negative could have been like 43 in the positive, or
I know.
a
I
lot.
know. You're right. Which would have made this week that just happened bonkers. But yeah, we can't complain. Things are good. So what were your takeaways from Pocono? Pretty boring race, I thought. And not very exciting. No tire fall off again, Coop.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think it was a horrible race, like a Gateway or, something like that. Or Martinsville short tracks, or even the, super speedways where they just run too wide. But, I put it in the middle somewhere. But, I think it played out just how we thought it would. The speed was the speed, man. And that's what we talked about. You got to have speed. And all the speed, drivers, came to the front. And, like you said, we sat there very well, the entire race for the most part.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you.
I
What
mean, I
what about
think we only hit Gibbs, was it?
what do you
On
what do
the
you mean?
live.
Oh, right. I think we might have hit one more person, actually. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But yeah, we didn't hit many people because we were in a good spot basically
Right.
the entire race.
Yeah.
So and then obviously Loudon happened on Monday last
Yeah,
week.
and I mean, again, that was another race where we were pretty much locked in on Truex and Bell, and it was the Marty show. So these last couple races, we've been able to lock in on a handful or less of drivers, and it's done us very well. We'll see what this week brings to us now.
Safe to say right now, Truex is the car to beat this year, no doubt.
Yeah, I don't think Larson's far behind him, though.
Yeah, I don't really
I mean,
disagree.
Marty's running pure right now, man. He's running really good.
He is. What a difference a year and a half makes for that guy, huh? Jesus
Hmm.
Christ. So
Hmm.
if you're keeping count, I made a graphic for us. If you're keeping count at home, Coop and I have banked profit in all but 5 races this year. I didn't bet the dirt race or the Worth 400. You might have bet
I
them in.
did. I
Yeah.
did. The Worth 400 was another Marty Monday.
Was it?
You took it off. That's the
Oh,
motor
that's
race.
right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, not bad. 23 races into the year. This will be the 23rd, I think. I mean, yeah, we're rolling along. Things could be worse. All right, so we turn our attention to Richmond. Is this the first track this year that we've hit a second time?
First track this year. Put that back up.
Okay.
I believe it is. No,
Right?
no, Atlanta. They raced twice in Atlanta.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. All in all, though, I mean, man, this track. So let's talk about the track. So it's a short track, obviously, high tire wear track, right? I don't think that there is a true comp for Richmond, I guess, right? We know that it's the tire wear that's supposed to happen. We know it's a short track, but is there a true comp? Like, I think you have to look at Richmond earlier this year and last year, Phoenix maybe earlier this year and last year. And I know they used the tires at Wilkesboro also. So what are you looking at?
Yeah, for me, it's just Richmond and Wilkesboro.
Richmond and Wilkesboro from this year?
Yeah, and it's really Richmond.
Okay, that's fair. So Richmond earlier this year, Willie B definitely had the car to beat. I would say all day. I watched that race earlier today. I had it on in the background while I was getting ready for whatever we were going to bet in trucks. And man, he was. I know last night when we did the Twitter Spaces, you felt that this is really going to be wide open strategy. We could see the field flip, but do you agree that at least earlier this year, Hendrick was the team to beat at Richmond, right?
Yeah, I mean Chevy. I think they took the top 3 spots.
Right.
So the one thing about this race, it's 70 laps in stage 1.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, do they pit or not? Or do they run it all out and try to save that set of tires? Like, if some of the good cars start pitting, then obviously, they'll, the rest will pit. But the thing is, stage number 2 and stage number 3 is 10 laps different than what it was last year.
Okay.
There's 10 laps less in stage 2 and 10 laps more in stage 3.
Okay.
And I think they're around 100 and they're 330. What's 330 divided by 2? Like, 115.
Yeah.
I think they're maybe a little bit more than that. I don't know. I want to say they're 160 or 170 maybe. I don't know. But anyways, like the way they race now, they kind of take tire wear out of the equation, because I think what we're going to see is they're going to pit twice in each one of these second and third stages and break it up into thirds. And like 50 laps, that's all right, tire wear, but like
right.
You really don't get that car or cars that really come forward or really go backwards. Whereas if it was like 60 to 70 laps that they were having to run, then you would see a big, big difference. And I think like that's kind of an advantage for the field, because if it was the way it used to be, I think it would be a huge advantage for Harvick, Hamlin, Truex specifically.
Right.
And, maybe that's why Willie B did really good earlier this year. Like he's getting better at tire management, but I don't think of him as like, a great tire management driver. He's young, all right, so he hasn't had a lot of, time to, really prove himself. But I think that's part of the reason why, it really brings more of the field into play.
So you're saying a strategy could be not pitting in stage 1, pitting twice in stage 2 and 3, and then being good to go. But you know how it goes. We are going to see people in stage 1 probably like short pit.
The way it's got to be is like we gotta find 2 drivers on strategy A who are really good, and 2 drivers on strategy B who are really good, and hope that strategy C doesn't show up at the end of the race with a caution and fuck us like it did with Kyle Larson winning this race. Which I think, by the way, congratulations to Diego. I think that's the race he got him at 17-1.
Yeah, you could be right. Like when I watched that race earlier today, Buescher was on a different strategy from everybody else late in that race. Yep. Yeah, you're right.
So like it's like these they have like 9 sets of tires. So like tires really aren't a key. You know, they got plenty. Whereas in the trucks tomorrow night, like they have to run that first 70 laps. Have to. And you know, because they only have 4 sets of tires.
Right.
And you want to save 2 sets for that last stage. That's 110 laps. So, you know, I think tomorrow night, like you could really see some, you know, comers and goers from lap 50 to 70 in the truck race.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. Yeah, I think that's usually what we always try to do, right? When we start to realize that there are going to be drivers that are on different strategies, and it's just going to be wherever the strategy falls at the end of the race, we tend to get the best couple guys that we can that are on each strategy. So, I mean, yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. This is a tough race.
Do you think that Richmond so far this year, what track do you think has had the most tire wear with these tires this year?
That's the thing. Like, I think it's hard to really tell because they take the tire wear out of it by pitting it. And whereas like in the days you didn't pit, you just kept running when there were no stages. You know?
Yeah.
You just kept going and going until you ran out of gas. You know?
Right.
So, you know, now, you know, with the stages, they can just split it up halfway or thirds, like what I think they're going to do tomorrow night or Sunday.
Caesars dropped the truck odds. New. Wow. Majeski's minus 250 to finish in the top 5. He was even money. Holy crap. Yeah, at the beginning of the week, yeah. Okay. All right. So I agree with everything you basically said.
So the other piece too is the pit teams are going to be obviously a lot more important this race than what they have been, you know, let's say at Pocono or Chicago or Loudon, where they didn't have a lot of pit stops. You know, they're going to double it, you know, this time because, you know, whenever there's a caution, they're all going to come down for the most part, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, so the pit teams are going to be a lot more important, you know, this race than what they have been over the last several weeks.
Yeah.
More opportunities for them to screw up.
Yeah, and then more opportunities for teams like Will Byron, who have been lights out this year, running like sub 9.7 second stops every week, almost every stop. So yeah, I don't disagree. So looking at the odds, right? Marty is a 4-1 favorite right now at Caesars, and he's now entering that territory that we really haven't seen in this next gen car. He's been so dominant that he's 4-1 at some point in the week, the last few weeks. And like realistically, he goes out there and he has a monster lap in qualifying tomorrow, they're going to make him sub 4-1 for the second time in like 3 weeks.
Yeah. Like I don't know how much to put into practice and qualifying tomorrow. All right. Because like I'll use the trucks for example. You know, when those drivers ran their 10 laps of sequential laps, it was at different times as far as, you know, when they were on their tires. Obviously, Majeski came out and he said, all right, I'm putting down a Q lap. All right. And then I'm going to pit.
Right.
All right. That's what he did. So, you know, I think his was like 5 through 15. Like the best were 1 through 10. The other piece is traffic, you know, like you don't know who they're around and if they're really getting stopped by a car and so
right.
on. So
especially on a 1 mile track with
right.
20 cars out there.
Right.
Right.
And then, you know, another point, I should have already brought this up, but like, you know, this is the 4th edition of this race in the new car. All right. The starters have started 13th, 13th, and 9th. All right. None of the winners, or the winners have started 9th, 13th, and 13th. None of the winners have won a stage. All right. And as a matter of fact, only the 3 winners, they've only finished in the top 10 3 out of the 6 times. And within that, they've only finished in the top 5 1 out of 6 times in a stage.
So why do you think that is? The strategy piece?
I think it's a strategy, and I think like you know, I think the track changes, you know, and like the people just adjust and get their car to really needs to be at the end. Because like if you really look at it, like when Harvick won, he didn't lead really any laps until the 3rd stage. Then he didn't lead any laps until the last 5 of the race, you know. So, you know, I just think it's wide open. And then on top of that, you know, in the 3 races, we've had a Ford win, we've had a Chevy win, and we've had a Toyota win.
Right. Right.
So it's wide open.
Yeah. I mean, Larson led a little less than a quarter of the laps in April, started 9th. In the middle of the race, he was 3rd. All 100% of his laps were run inside the top 15. So I don't know. I guess it just depends on where it falls.
I mean, track position is important. All right. At this track, you know, and you know that's the funky thing too. Like when you're on these 2 different strategies, if you get one of them random caution flags and you're on the wrong side, it's not going to be pretty for you.
No, you're dead. You're dead. So, all right. So that's Marty. After Marty, Denny Hamlin. He is plus 525 right now at Caesars. Listen, last week, then he luck boxed into another checkered flag, I think, right? I think getting the win after playing pinball off of Kyle Larson's car. He got the win bouncing off of Kyle Larson's whip last week.
He luck boxed.
Yeah,
last night I brought up the fact that, you know, Denny won this race, all right, and he only led 5 laps.
Yeah.
And what did you immediately say? I think we've got to look at how much time he was in the top 15.
I did say
which was a lot. Yeah.
A lot.
So like how much time was he in the top 15 last week?
I could tell you. I could tell you if you want to know.
Like he was there.
He was there. But I mean, he did lie about banging off of Kyle Larson's car.
I don't care if he lied or not. He just should have said it's racing, man, because that's what it was. He didn't do anything wrong.
I don't think he did anything wrong either. And I know Denny at Pocono, you know, he's a monster. 93% of the laps ran inside the top 15.
Okay. He was there.
Yeah, he was there. He led 9 laps. But it's a short. The laps there aren't a lot of laps in that race. So yeah, listen, man, listen. He's finished in the top 5 in the summer here. He won the spring race here last year. The year before that, which was the last year in the old car, he finished second in both races. So Denny, he's very, very good here. But that's when Denny doesn't shit the bed, like while speeding down the road.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like when he runs perfect, he could beat anybody, but he rarely runs perfect between him and that pit team.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, he's hard to back. If you knew he was going to run the perfect race, he's not. That's not bad backing Denny at 5.5 or 6 to 1.
Right.
But we don't know that, and that's why I have a problem taking a number that low. I assume you're in the same spot.
Yes, sir.
Okay. After him, Kyle Larson 6 to 1. He's had some success at Richmond lately. Won the spring race, right? Had another top 5 last year at the track, which was also in the next gen car. He's been running well here, although I do not know if this is his best format. High tire wear tracks where we know that the track is going to change. And
one thing I remember I read this week, and maybe you can answer. You said you watched this. Were they running the high line here?
Some cars were. Yeah. But I think it really came down to, at the end of the day, who can hug the bottom the best.
Gotcha.
But there were some cars running the high line. Yeah. But like Byron, he basically ran around the bottom of the track all fucking day. I mean, he could have gone wherever he wanted to, but he ran the bottom of the track all day.
But like, that's the thing that's so hard. Like, you keep talking about how good Willie D was last year or this spring at this race. I don't even think he finished in the top 10, did he?
In the spring here,
yeah,
he finished 24th.
Yeah. So like, this is one of those.
And he was really good too.
Right. This is one of those races where the best car doesn't always win.
Yeah, fair.
And this is one of the races where maybe the best 2 or 3 cars don't always win.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice for us to start seeing the price on Kyle Larson starting to creep up. He's no longer 5 to 1. He's going up 7 to 1, 7.5 to 1, right? It's nice to see that from him. But that said, like, I think he has as good a chance to win this race as 5 or 6 other cars probably. And then, like you say, once you put the strategy into play, it could be a lot more cars where it ends up being wide open. Yeah. But it's hard to cap like that, isn't it, Coop? Like, it's hard to cap. Like,
it's hard.
Is Chris Buescher gonna short?
Right. You can't. Right. That's why this race is so freaking hard. And by the way, somebody in the chat's hitting on you.
Hitting on me?
Yeah, hitting on you, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect rotation, my guy. Where the fuck have you been? I was going to send an APB out. I was going to call the cops. I am slimming down, bro. Thank you, my dude. I appreciate you. I also stopped smoking cigarettes. How about that? So anyway, I do expect, if the field doesn't get flipped, Coop, I expect Kyle Larson to be very good. But
yeah, but like, would you be surprised if Kyle Larson's running 15th tomorrow night?
No.
Or I keep saying tomorrow night because it's always a freaking Saturday race.
Yeah, I know. No, I wouldn't be surprised. So that's Kyle Larson. After him, Chris Bell, Coop. Chris Bell, Coop, who at Loudon had to be the most. I was disappointed in him.
I'll tell you what, if that pit team shows up on Sunday, man, holy cow, man, you can just chalk his name right off the board. That team was horrible in Loudon.
Oh my God, it was so bad. He had to. I don't know if he would have beat Marty, but I think he was probably the second best car in that race.
Right, I'm with you.
And he didn't finish anywhere near the top 5. Kid couldn't get out of his own way. So, we know what Chris Bell, good tire wear guy, very good short track guy. But that being said, can you count on his pit team after what you saw at Loudon? I don't know. Yeah. I certainly couldn't back him at 7-1.
And like that pit team's been good in some races, and they've been bad in a lot of them.
Yeah.
Last year and this year.
I'm with you.
But the one thing positively going for it, that car's been really fast.
Yeah. Yeah, you started saying that about a month ago. It's starting to pick up, which makes sense with Gibbs showing up in the summertime, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, at that price, I couldn't back him, and I know that you can't either. After him, I think it's a very similar situation, Coop. If you're gonna tell me that the tire wear is 30% less, let's say, than normal, okay, then you can't back Kevin Harvick at 7-1 to win this race.
I've seen him at 9, but still, I don't think 9 is the right number.
Yeah, right.
It's a tough number.
Right, because if speed is going to matter more than the tires, that puts Kevin Harvick in a tough spot to win a race.
Right, and it does, but I think in all 3 editions of this race, he's finished in the top 5, and then he has that one win.
Yeah, he has.
Right,
he has. But I don't know. Do you think the tires wore last year at Richmond more than this year?
Possibly. I don't know. I'm not a tire geek.
I just couldn't back him at that number.
Right. But he could definitely win this race.
Yeah, he could. KB, right back to Keg, not knowing what to do with KB. I felt it I felt it at Pocono, and now I don't know. What do you think about KB this week?
It's a short track package, man. It's not a KB week.
It's not a KB week?
Nope.
After KB, Will Byron. I think that of all the guys up top that are under 10-1, I think the best value on the board is Will Byron.
Yeah. Of the ones that are 10-1 or less, I would agree with you. But I still have it in the back of my head. He's not that great at managing tires, and he's been a benefit of these short pit stops. So I think it's one of those races where if he's in the lead to start, he's going to be good. But I don't see him coming from 5th or 6th to the lead.
Yeah, and I'll tell you another concern I have with Will Byron. Where his age shows, Coop, is his inability at times to get ahead of the track. He is not as good as the car.
Yeah, right. They're not good at making adjustments throughout.
Yes. Because when you look at all those guys that are under 10-1, what do they all have in common? They all know exactly what to do with the car as the track changes, and Willie B doesn't. He sometimes.
Would you say that for Chris Bell, though?
No, okay, maybe him too. He's young. But like Larson, Happy, Denny, Marty, Bush, those 5 that are under 10-1, they all know exactly what to do, exactly what they're feeling with the track. And that's where Byron starts to fall, like you always say, he'll fall through the field like a stone.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big part of the reason why.
Right.
So I do worry about that also with Will Byron. But man, that number is appealing when you look at the people around him. After him, Joey Logano, 11-1. I mean, at the Richmond race earlier in the year, Joey started 18th. He finished the race 7th. He led 0 laps, and he rode around in the top 15 for three out of every 4 laps. So what do you expect from Joey?
I don't know, man. It's tough. What I will say is I see that car getting better here over the last couple of weeks. So I think he's on the upside, which is a good thing for him. Whereas some of the weeks we've been like, nah, just skip and pass him, you know. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Joey Logano won this race. No, I wouldn't.
Based on performance or based on strategy?
I think if he starts up front, it could be performance. If he starts, let's say, 8th on back, probably strategy.
Okay. After Joey, Ross Chastain. Now, there have not been many reasons for you and I to want to back Chastain this year. We haven't done it much, especially compared to last year. That said, though, he ran pretty well here in the spring race.
Yeah.
What do you think about Ross at 15-1 this week?
Ross has done well on these high tire wear tracks. You know, he's kind of like Joey in my mind, but like I don't know if he has the momentum that Joey has going on right now. But with that said, you know, he's another car who I think I would not be 100. I would not be surprised at all if he won.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't be surprised if Chastain. I would be less surprised if he won, I think, than Joey. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm with you. Do you think that's a fair price on him this week?
15?
Yeah, you could probably find something better than that, but that's what Caesars has right now.
No, I don't.
What do you think you need? Like 20?
Yeah. Because I think there's some cars that are starting behind him who have those odds that I think are in a little bit better form.
Okay. After Chastain, now I made the mistake because last night when you and I were doing the show, I said Alex Bowman because they were both hurt at some point in the year.
Yeah.
But then
I know. I wasn't going to rub it in, man. I know. It was in Chase Elliott's car.
Then I went back and I watched the race today, and I was like, wait a minute. That's not fucking Bowman. So my initial reaction when I see that he finished second in that race is if Josh Berry could finish second in that car, Chase Elliott should be able to win that car by an hour. Like he's 15-1. Like, what do you make of what Berry did in at the spring race in Richmond?
Well, I think if you look at that particular stat on him, he qualified really bad, and I think he stayed. I don't think he's going to be in the top 15 percentage of laps, maybe 30% of the laps. Maybe I'm going to take a guess.
31%.
Pretty damn close. But I think that late race strategy helped him out a lot. With that said, I also think that, when you think of Josh Berry, what do you think? Tire wear. Good at that. When you think of Josh Berry, what else do you think? Short tracks. Good at them. All right. So I think it was the perfect storm for him, to be honest with you. So that's what I thought about Josh Berry. But if I were to want to make a bet, the first driver I would bet would be Chase Elliott.
This
week,
I
think I can get him at 20.
I think you could probably get him at 22. Also, he has to win, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Are we at the point where he kind of has to win now?
Right. And I mean, I don't think he was good at Pocono, but the 2 races before, I think he had top 5s, didn't he?
I have to check, but I think you're right. He's been coming on for sure. I'll tell you the first guy that stuck out to me to maybe take a shot on and betting this week without you and I having to get creative, although being creative has treated us well the last couple of weeks. That's Ryan Blaney at 20 to 1 Coop. I mean, he ran really well at Phoenix. Why can't he run really well at Richmond at 20 to 1?
Because he doesn't understand how to manage his tires. He's getting better and better and better. But if you look at his Richmond races, they haven't been very good results.
No.
But if you really look at the race over the last couple of races, he's improved quite a bit. I think he's a step behind the Harvicks, the Hamlins, the Truexes of being able to get there. Like Joey Logano, man, that car's been really fast, man. But he would be the second guy.
So you would have less
choice over Ryan.
What would you gravitate towards? If you're going to take a Penske car this week, you would take Joey over Blaney?
Man,
it's close, right?
Yeah, I would take the one that's starting farther forward. I don't think they're far off, man. If you go back and you look at the stats, okay, last year, Joey Logano was great at these tire wear tracks. But again, I think he favored kind of like what Willie Byron's doing right now, where, I don't think Joey Logano was a great tire wear management type of driver. I think, he's got a fast car. That's what I think of Joey Logano, okay? And I think, these tire wear tracks only running 50 laps versus 60 to 70 has been an advantage for him.
Okay. I'll buy that.
But yeah, the first 2 that I would back would be Elliott and Blaney.
What car?
So.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, Logano, I think has a bad number on Joey.
Yeah. Yeah, 11.
He should be more in the Blaney and Elliott range, in my opinion.
I don't disagree.
Hey, by the way, it's Friday night. You know what's on Friday nights?
What's on? I don't know.
CFL, baby.
Oh, Christ.
So looking good. I took the Hamilton Tiger Cats and Ottawa Red Blacks under 48.5. They've got 15 points at halftime.
Okay.
All right. Good.
All right. At least I got a CFL capper for when we start the website. After Blaney, Keselowski, and Reddick are 20, 25 to 1. Keselowski's always interesting because anytime strategy is in play, you can't discount Kes.
And tire wear. He's good at managing tires.
And tire wear.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about him at 20 to 1? Has that RFK 6 shown you enough?
It's just inconsistent, man. He would be the third car that I would back in that range. I would have to go with Blaney and Elliott before Keselowski.
Blaney and Elliott before Keselowski. Yeah, okay. After him, Tyler Reddick. Like when you think about Tyler Reddick, you don't
Can I
think.
just answer this question real quick?
Yeah, please.
I think if you go back and you look at the Richmond race in the spring,
Yeah,
we saw Tyler Reddick at plus 2,000,
yeah,
and we backed him, and he
yeah.
fucking sucked, man. That's what I think of Tyler
was
Reddick.
was this the race?
I think it was. Because he's never been good on flat tracks. He's gotten better. Because, like, you sold it on the Phoenix piece where he finished third.
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. He finished third. Yeah.
So, you know, I can't. I'll bet him live if I have to. But, you know, I'm not falling for that twice.
I don't disagree. And like when you think of his driving style, it is not hugging the apron. It's hugging the wall.
Right. But I mean, you know, again, like, you know, but on the opposite side, if they do start running the line up top, that's his style. And then, you know, he's not bad at managing tires either.
Yeah. But no, you at least at 25-1 have no interest in backing him, right?
No, man, you can give me 40 and I wouldn't do it.
After that, Gibbs is 30-1. I think the kid's just too young. You think he could win?
I mean, I don't. He wasn't great in the Xfinity at managing tires. I think the thing that he has going for him is he's in a Toyota associated with Joe Gibbs, who's very good here. I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes in the top 10. I don't think he's going to be a race contender.
Okay. Every once in a while, you will send me a message or I will send you a message that says, bet this. Not let's talk about it. Not let's do this. It'll say, bet this. And this week, you sent me a message like I did the week before that said, bet Alex Bowman at 60-1 for a quarter unit. So I did. I listened. I bet him. And he's 35-1. CLV doesn't really pay much, but I mean, you did your job.
It doesn't pay anything.
Yeah. But you know, it could be worse.
I mean, the only thing that CLV pays is, you know, you continually wanting to be on the positive side of it. Because in the long run, if you continually be on the positive side of it, it's going to pay off for you.
It should work out, right? Exactly. You're learning, Coop. That's my guy. That's what I like to see. So yeah, we're on Alex Bowman at 60-1 for a quarter unit. I tailed Coop on that. And then beyond that, I already know if there's one guy you're going to back that's 50-1 or higher, you're going to say Eric Almirola, right?
Yeah, Amarola, Busher, and Briscoe.
50, 60, and 75-1 right now at Caesars.
You can get him. You can get him better.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. You think Ricky could run in the top 10 this week?
I think he could, man. You know, he hasn't been his best in this package. But if you look back, and hopefully you saw today, he had a pretty good spring race.
Yeah, he did. That's why I asked, actually. I wouldn't back him to win the race, but when we get to those markets, we'll take a look and see what the prices are. But outside of that, past those guys, no interest from me, no interest from Coop. So I guess we could start going through it. Top 5 market. You see anything you like?
You know, last year, okay, the very first Richmond race, I bet Martin Truex and Kevin Harvick to finish in the top 5. What do you think those numbers were?
Last year?
Very first race of Richmond. Finished top 5, both of them.
I would say that they were – I would say Marty was probably like plus 200. And Harvick was maybe like plus 175.
They were 350 each.
Fuck off.
No,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, but the beginning of last year, Coop, we
They
had
were still halfway in the grade.
we were in the dirt. Yeah. We didn't even go to fucking
Right.
Home Depot to buy a shovel yet.
Right. So, that got half their bodies out of the grave in that race. But I mean, 350, that just shows you where we're at now. Because Marty's like 140 to finish in the top 5, and Harvick's minus 110 or something, maybe.
minus 140 to finish in the top 5, Marty. Yeah. Harvick's like minus 110. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's where we're at.
I can't back any top 5s or top 3s this week because we just sat here and talked about all the drivers, and 75% of them we said, hey, they can win. I wouldn't be surprised. Same scenario falls for top 5s.
It's a shame
and
too.
The numbers aren't good enough to chase.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not chasing minus numbers.
Yeah. And like anybody, like there are some appealing numbers, like Elliott's 2-1 to finish in the top 5. Blaney's 3-1 to finish in the top 5. Bowman 5-1 almost. Like there are a couple numbers that are appealing, but like, man, it's going to be competitive. It's going to be real competitive on Sunday.
Chris Buescher finished 3rd here. Michael McDowell finished 5th. Like, you wouldn't think of them finishing that well, especially Michael McDowell here.
Yeah.
He's never been good here.
Yeah. That's why he's 20-1 to finish in the top 5. Top 10 market. I saw a couple bets. I didn't
like this is a week. I think I wouldn't mind chasing the top 10 because I think you could see some random drivers up there, and I think you could see more than 1 or 2 or 3 random drivers up there. It wouldn't surprise me if 3 or 4 random drivers finished in there. With that said, I don't think I can do it at the numbers they're offering without something tied to it.
Like
what book do you have open?
Right now,
I'm going to go take a bathroom break, all right?
Okay.
And you tell me what kind of number we can get on like Bowman, Amarola, Briscoe, Buescher, those types with Miranda Maverick and Bobby Ferguson making it over 1.5 rounds.
Okay, Coop. I'll do that. Let's see what we could see. Welcome into my boys in the chat. We're going to have a fucking weekend, boys. Why not us this weekend? Did we make 35 units last week? We did. Are we going to do that again? Probably not. But could we make some money? You're fucking right. We can make some money this weekend. It's what I do. That's why we're here. I'm going to add a couple plays to the truck race, boys. I've already bet them, but I didn't put them on the sheet. So I'm going to have to readjust with the current market availability, which I'll do after this show is over. But there are a couple bets that I've made that I did not put on the sheet that I'll talk about at the end of the show. Let's see what we could see. I don't even know if I could do this yet. Yeah, I could. All right, let's see.
Man, I had some nice sushi tonight.
That's shocking that you like sushi. You don't seem like a sushi kind of guy.
Daughter got us onto it.
So, like Alex Bowman and the Kevin Holland fight and the Maverick fight to reach round 2 is 9-1.
Why are we back on Kevin Holland all of a sudden, man? I thought we were talking about Bobby Green.
Well, yeah, I bet all I all 3 of them.
I know, but I only won 2 for top 10s.
Well, that is only 2. I could
Okay.
take Chiesa out and put
so we can get it at 9-1 on Bowman.
Yeah, and he was 4.5, so it basically doubles your number.
Wait, Alex Bowman was 4.5 to get a top 10?
Nope, that's top 5. I'm done. Stand by, Coop. I'm an idiot. He was like plus 175.
That's more like it.
Yeah, actually plus 130 at BR. So maybe I'll do it at Caesars with the over 1.5. Let me see.
I just want some ballpark numbers, man, to see if this is a realistic, way we could go.
So
We
like
don't need to do it for everybody.
So like at BR, it would be plus 320 instead of plus 130.
Nah.
Yeah, you're spoiled. You think everything we bet's 10-1.
Right, but like, would you rather take some flyers, okay, and hope that they get in there? Or would you rather parlay that with Kevin Harvick and try to get it at even money, where he's a lot more guaranteed to get a top 10?
Yeah, like one. I bet I made a couple bets today with Will Byron, top 10. They're both minus 200, both of them. So like Harvick, Kevin Harvick, and these fights to go over 1.5 rounds at Caesars would be with one over 1.5 rounds, it's plus 120.
With 2 fights or 3 fights?
With one fight, it's plus 120. I'll add more. I could add more if you want me to.
Yeah.
Like the Maverick fight and the Bobby Green fight would make it plus 215.
All right, something's not adding up here. All right, you just told me that Alex Bowman, who was at like 130 or 175, gets to like 350. And now you're telling me Kevin Harvick at a minus 200, we can get it like 200 plus 200? Something's not right.
Yeah, because one of them's plus 3. Well, first of all, they're 2 different books.
Okay.
One of them is for round 2 to start. The other one is for the over 1.5 rounds. Like if
you're talking about DK start round 2,
right? Like I'm doing Rivers and Caesars right now, right? Okay. So Harvick at Bet Rivers, he would be plus 160 because it would be round 2 starts, but at Caesars it would be plus 220 because it's over 1.5 rounds.
Okay. And that's with 2 of them. What do you go with 3?
Yeah, that's with 2 of them. With 3, It would be the over 1.5 rounds. That would make it plus 425. At
so Harvick's minus 200. What's Truex and Denny? Top 10, just their number.
That is, I'll tell you what it is at both places. At Rivers, his number is minus 375 as opposed to Harvick being minus 235. And then at Caesars, he is minus 500 instead of minus 210.
Okay. So we can come back to Marty and Denny later. But like I would feel more comfortable betting Kevin Harvick at plus 400 to finish in the top 10 with those 3 fights than taking a bunch of shots on a Buescher, a Bowman, an Amarillo, and Briscoe to make the top 10 at like probably 600 or 700.
I understand what you're saying. You're saying take the cars that will be good performance wise rather than take.
And I mean, look, shit can always happen. You know what I mean? You can't control that. But I think if you get a clean race from Kevin Harvick, he's going to finish in the top 10 9 out of 10 times.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah.
And I think whereas like those other drivers we're talking about might be 3 or 4 times.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So that would be my lean there.
Taking Harvick. Who else?
I don't know if we can do Bowman. My first thing was take Harvick, Bowman. Harvick, Denny, and Truex.
Denny is a lot closer to Harvick than Truex is. He's like minus 300 instead of minus 500. So like he would be plus 370 with the 3 over 1.5 props. Or you could do it at second round to start and it would be plus. Right now it's 140. Let me just add that one more fight to see what it is. It would be plus 200.
Okay. So like I would lean more towards like I don't think we can do Marty. All right.
Denny and Harvick.
Or Denny, Bell, and Harvick. And just hope that both of Bell and Denny pit teams show up. Or at least one of them. But the other thing too is what do you think about Larson? Like where's he at?
275. Like if you did it with him at Caesars, it would be just under 4-1. If you did it with him at BR.
Right. We can talk about it offline later.
Yeah.
But like I think Harvick's a good one, and maybe it is just Harvick. All right. And maybe we're trying to push too much more into it.
Yeah.
But we can look at it more later.
All right. So that's the top 3, top 5, top 10 market. Winning teams. What do you think about Gibbs and like? Do you think it's too wide open?
Yeah, I think it's too wide open.
What about taking flyers on the bigger teams? Like Penske's 9-1, Haas is 7-1, Childress, Trackhouse are like 14-1.
Like, I would just rather try to bet Joey or Ryan because that's who Penske is. Austin Cindric's not winning this race.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're not going to throw it in parlays, it's not worth it. Like, it's 35-1 for Penske to win and for those to go over 1.5 rounds.
I would just take Brian Blaney and Logano and put it in that parlay.
Yeah.
And get a better number.
Winning manufacturer, wide open. I mean, who knows? These are probably
but hold on. What are the numbers?
They're the closest that 5 and plus 230.
You broke up. What were they again?
Plus 140, plus 165, and plus 230.
All right. So if you're, I know it's MMA, and you can tell me anybody can get knocked down at a shot. All right, I get it. I understand that. But like, if you feel really confident about those 3 fights going over 1.5 rounds, I say we bet all 3 of them and just try to scrape a unit. Because you could probably be able to do
that. Well, if you do it with the over 1.5 rounds, it'll be a lot better than round 2 starts. Like, it's 7.5-1 for Toyota, 840 for Chevy, and 1070 for Ford.
So you're gonna make more than 1 unit. Okay, but the thing is, you could lose a lot if one of those.
Yeah. I mean, considering that I'm so invested already with that in the truck race, man, I would be nervous throwing more on those round props. I'd be a little worried.
But those are good numbers. Like, that's something to think about, because like 7, 9, and 10, and you're guaranteed a winner because there's no like Dodge or high racing.
Right.
If you get those fights through, you're guaranteed some good numbers.
Yeah, true. Top manufacturer. Top Ford, man. Kevin Harvick is plus 140. And Ryan Blaney's like plus 525. I kind of like taking a fucking shot on Ryan Blaney at that number.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to bet against Kevin Harvick, though?
I mean, like,
is this the race to bet against Kevin Harvick?
But that number is so bad.
Right, but hold on. Do you have any interest in Toyota, top Toyotas?
Like, you mean all of them?
Any facet.
Based off these numbers, no. 140, 210, and 270, no.
Okay, all right. So I was thinking along your line of Ford, but Chevy. You're wanting to beat Kevin Harvick.
Okay.
I want to beat Kyle Larson, Will Byron, and Kyle Busch. I think there's a better shot that you beat them than Kevin Harvick.
Why? Because Elliott, Chastain, and Bowman are.
Look at the number. Look at the numbers. It starts 550 and it drops quick.
Where are you looking at? 365?
Oh, I don't know. I was looking at them earlier.
Yeah, it's 5-1 for Elliott, 6-1 for Chastain, 12-1 for Bowman.
Suarez is like 20.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to bet Eric Jones. I don't need to bet. I don't think I need to bet Austin Dillon. Do you?
No.
Like, I would probably. I think I would take a flyer on Stenhouse before Dillon.
So would I.
All right. But like like I would rather attack the Chevys than the Fords.
Yeah, he's 7-1 Chastain Chevy.
Because I think as a group, the Chevy drivers are better, and the top 3 Chevy drivers have more ability to not have a good race than a Harvick.
Well, I'm with you. I'm with you with the Elliott, Chastain, Bowman are probably better than Blaney and Logano. I'm with you there against Happy. But I do think that number on Ryan Blaney's not a bad number, though.
Right. And and then the other piece to look at it is like in Chevy camp, you're battling against 3 drivers, whereas Ford, you're only battling against 1, but that one's really damn good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I asked you earlier in the show, would you be surprised if Kyle Larson finished 15th? You said no.
Right.
Like we talked about Will Byron, and if he doesn't qualify well, like we don't see him being a driver that moves forward, up top, and then Kyle Busch just has been bad in his package.
Yeah.
Like maybe in the end we just take Blaney to be the top Ford and Elliott to be the top Chevy, but like Chastain out would scare me.
Well, like a quasi hedge for that coupe is like taking Ryan Blaney to be the top Ford, and then betting Kevin Harvick top 10 parlay.
Right. Well, that's exactly right. Because like when I asked you earlier what Larson's number was in the top 10, like that's where my mindset was. Like, that's why I wanted to know Larson, because like if we bet Larson to be the top 10, it
It's
would
a little
help
protection. You got a little right. Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah.
Whereas, it's not only protection, but I mean it's 2 bets that could win because
right.
They could finish 8th and 9th and still get in the top 10.
Yep. 100%.
But not be the top Chevy.
I don't hate that. I kind of like that actually. I think that's a good way to go with top Ford. Take a shot on Blaney and then bet Harvick top 10. Let me write that down. I like that. So, and then you're saying throw out Larson, Byron, and Busch and take Elliott. I mean, you're going to take a lot of guys. Elliott, Chastain, Bowman, Suarez, and a flyer on Ricky, you're saying?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, when I initially thought of it, I figured we'd throw a little parlay action on it.
Okay.
Those numbers would be better.
Yeah.
We don't need 3 fights. We just need 2 fights.
I mean, there's other things that I like on that card too. Like we don't just have to go the total route.
Well, that's great because we're going to talk about that later.
Okay.
And see, like you got this mindset, like you got to bet a unit on everything, man.
I do, yeah.
I mean, my mindset's a little different. Like I would take a unit and divide it up into those 4.
I know. Yeah, I'll bet a half unit or a unit most of the time, which is more exposure, but it's also a higher payoff if you can get it, unless you're doing what you do and like take a little bit of money and like try to make a couple K off it.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do later.
Ford versus Chevy, Ford versus Toyota. No, right? That's impossible. Then no.
Right.
What do you think about qualifying? You think there's an edge? You think there's an edge?
No, I don't.
You think it's wide open?
It's wide, flipping open.
Did you take a look at the group bets at all?
Yeah, I have one group bet that I like.
What do you got?
You're not gonna like it.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll surprise you. How about that?
You won't like it. Bubba Wallace 240, Suarez 240, Busher 270, and Briscoe 300.
I mean, I kind of feel like there's 3 out of 4 guys in that group that could be there. Who are you on?
I like Busher and Briscoe.
You're going to throw out Suarez and Bubba?
Yeah.
Why Briscoe?
Like that, man, he's been really good in this package, man. His best races have been in this package.
What has he done this year finish-wise in this package?
He finished 4th at North Wilkesboro, and he finished, I think, right outside the top 10 in Richmond. He led over 100 laps at Martinsville and finished right around the top 10.
Okay. Man, we've been so down on Briscoe too.
Yeah, and I don't disagree. Like in the other packages, he's like, a lawnmower. He's horrible.
Yeah.
But like, in this one, he's good, man. And he's pretty good at managing his tires too. But like, that just shows you like how much I don't like the group bets either.
Yeah.
I only have one written down.
Yeah. You know what drives your point home this week about it could be wide open because of strategy and flipping of the field and short pitting. The fact that the winner of stage 1 to win the race is almost 6-1, which we have not seen anywhere except the super speedway.
It's been 400 to 350.
Yeah.
Or less.
And it's 5.5, 6-1 for stage 1. And stage 2 is like 4-1. And it's been what, 3-1, 250?
Yeah. And none of the winners have won a stage here.
Yeah. I think that's the strongest point to solidify your argument about it wide open. What Caesar's laid down on winner of stage props is. That's a big indication.
But like I'm looking at this other group. It's Ty Gibbs 240, Kozlowski 255, Amarola 270, Bowman 290. Like I can't pick 2 drivers out of there who I think are going to be better than the other 2.
Yeah.
Logano, Chastain, Blaney, and Reddick. I can't,
Chastain, Blaney, and Reddick. I would probably take Chastain and Blaney.
All right. Like there's a lot of people out there that'll just throw some money on a bet because of the number. But like I don't see that in any of these groups. Like I'm just not going to throw money out there for it.
What do you think about Byron and Harvick over Logano and Kyle Busch?
See, Byron, I can't do it with Byron in there.
Because you think that
Byron could win the race. You've talked all how great he was.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Right,
taking Byron and Harvick over Logano and Busch.
Oh, hold on. Where's that at?
Bet365.
To win Group
B.
Byron and Harvick. I don't know. Like if I were going to do that, I think I would just take my shot on Harvick. But then I look back at it, like I would rather just take that top 10 shot at having Harvick on at 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably right.
Because I think, you know, all four of them. Well, I don't know about Bush, but maybe he could. But like, it wouldn't surprise me if all four of them drivers finish in the top 10, and one of them's ahead of Harvick. But if I could get that 4-1 on Harvick as a top 10, if those fights come through.
Yeah, these groups are not good this week, like everywhere. I don't see one group I like.
No, they're hard. They're just tough.
Do you think? What about like I think it was last week. I hit the bet on the winner would be on the grid under 10.5.
I don't see that yet.
Do you think? Do you like that though? If we see that,
No.
because no,
Two of the three winners have finished started out 13th. Denny and Harvick started 13th and won here. But I think, to give it right, you've got to really look to see who's in those spots. To get a true example, I mean, of who's going to, potentially
right,
get it
right,
done.
right. What do you think about stage props when we get them Sunday morning? Do you think they're worth looking at?
I have to go back and do a little bit more research and look at the
Who's going to need stage points?
I don't think they're fighting for stage points or anything like that. I mean, they're fighting for stage points, but I don't think they're going to stay out for it. You know what I mean? I'd have to go back and look over
Because
the first races.
I bet you that the numbers are going to be appealing to us.
Why? Because the winning number is not appealing to us.
What do you mean? When, like the winning number, as in winning the race numbers?
Right, and they're kind of similar. Like there could be an appealing number if you're willing to take a shot on some people.
Well, I mean, I also think it depends on who is, like, if Marty and Hamlin are on the pole, then the numbers are going to be bad. But if qualifying is a little wide open, like you think it might be, then I think that we might see some numbers that might be worth taking a flyer on. I think it all depends on who's in those first couple rows. Because if they do what you think, and they stay out that entire stage, it might give some type of opportunity for the people that started in row 2 and 3 to
so in the spring,
yeah,
Byron won stage 1, and
was he on the pole?
Third. Okay. Chastain was second, fourth. Larson was third. Started 9th.
Yeah, so that makes me think like me. What about the 2 races last year?
Give me a minute there, Slugger. 111. One. Second, third, and first. Second place on the grid, 1.
Okay.
So it was the top 3.
Okay.
And then in the spring, $12, $24, $1. First, $1. Second was second. And third started 8th. So it's really the front 2 rows.
So maybe the odds won't be that great because the book's going to know that too. Ostradamus said long run track ? It used to be when tires wore and there weren't any stages. I don't know anymore.
Yeah, I think I think we have a better shot of picking the stage 1 winner than we do a race winner at this point. But I think you're going to have to take 3 or 4 drivers, and it's going to dilute your odds because the odds on the drivers starting first, second, third, and fourth aren't going to be good. And we've seen 2 instances where a driver 8th and 9th, finished in the top 3.
Yeah. DK dropped the truck odds, Coop. There are 2 drivers under plus 250.
I hope they're Corey Heim and Ty Majeski.
They are. Zane 3.5 and Enfinger 8. What do you think Corey Heim, like when we were talking about him the other day when I was like,
I think Corey Heim will fall back.
I hope you're right.
Because when I told you he did really well, he was specifically on the pole.
But just to put the Cup Series, to put a bow on it, any matchups?
1.
What do you got?
Because the matchups are the same way as the groups. I think I'm going to take Chase Elliott at even money over Kyle Busch.
Chase Elliott at even money over Kyle Busch.
DK and Barstool have it. I mean, there's some that I don't mind. Like if you go back to 365.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind taking Chase Briscoe over Daniel Suarez. I think Briscoe will win, but I'm not laying 120 on Chase Briscoe.
What about Ryan Blaney plus 110 against Logano?
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. It could happen.
Joey's minus 150 in that matchup.
Like there's some matchups I don't mind, but like I'm looking at all these ones right here on 365.
Yeah.
Every single driver, and this should tell you another thing about the race. Every single driver is minus money. None of them are plus.
Yeah.
That right there tells you the books. They don't know. You know what I mean? Because usually, like, one would be maybe plus 105, plus 100, plus 110. But there ain't a darn one of them that's a minus number.
I
mean, a plus number.
Caesars has a lot of plus money. Like they have
I was
Chris
just going to look at them.
Chris Buescher even money against Suarez. Chastain even money against Elliott. Bush plus 120 against Byron. Larson plus 115 against Marty. I can't step in front of Marty right now.
Tell me if this is not surprising. Chris Bell is a minus 125 over Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's surprising. What's the comeback though? Minus 105?
Right.
That's surprising. But you know what? It wouldn't shock me if he beat him.
Right.
Like if it goes right for Chris Bell, he could be in the top 5 tomorrow, Sunday, finishing in the top 5, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
What about did BetMGM have any matchups that you saw that you liked?
Oh well, their matchups were like, hold on, they're way. Tyler Reddick is minus 225 against Austin Dillon.
Wow.
They have Larson against Hamlin. This is one I really want to bet on. I say that sarcastically. Ryan Preece is minus 200 against Corey LaJoie. Another one, Bell's minus 120 to Harvick minus 110. Kozlowski minus 175 to Gibbs plus 140.
Your boy can't get it done at plus 140?
I'm not going to take a shot against the Kaz. Can't do that. That MGM actually I think has some pretty good top 10 numbers too. Buescher and Briscoe are 225. Like if you shop around this week, you can get some really good top 10 numbers if you split it up through the different books.
Yeah. I'm looking at them now.
But see, they have Bowman at even money.
Top 10?
Yeah. And they have Stenhouse at plus 450. And you can get him at 6 or 7 in another book.
Yeah. Harvick's minus 200, Byron minus 200. That's good. Best number I've seen. What do you expect from Bubba?
You know, I think you were talking about Ryan Blaney.
Yeah.
And I think you could end up losing both bets. But like if you took him and parlayed him with 2 fights, you could get plus numbers and get your money back in that top Ford if he lost and made the top 10 though.
What do you mean?
You were thinking about betting him top Ford.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think Ryan Blaney finishes, if he has a good race, I think he finishes between 6th and 10th.
I'm with you.
Could that be enough to be the top Ford? It
possibly
could. It could be if Chevy and Toyota show up.
100% it could be. Yeah.
But, would it surprise me if Logano or Harvick finished 6th or 7th and Blaney finishes 9th or 10th?
No.
And what I'm saying is, you could take Blaney, parlay him with a couple of fighters and get them at plus money to finish in the top 10 and kind of hedge off your top 4.
With the opportunity to hit both, you're saying.
And the opportunity to lose both.
Right. Yeah, he runs out and Happy finishes 4th. You're done. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Blaney though, man, at that number. 5.5 to 1 seems a little disrespectful in that top Ford market.
Yeah. But I mean, if you look at his results here, it's a fair number, I think.
Yeah, it could just be because of Phoenix that I feel that way.
Right. And I don't think, Phoenix has much to do with this because of the tire wear.
I'm looking I didn't see the groups on DK. I'm just looking at those real quick. You know what? The Group D isn't bad, Goop, at DK.
Go ahead.
I would take a flyer on Almirola at plus 425 and take either Bowman or Keselowski. I would probably take Bowman because the number's better over Gibbs and Kes. Bowman's 275. Almirola's 430. I don't hate that. Because of the price.
So Ryan Blaney has raced here 14 times. He has 3 top 10s.
Sounds
out
that
of those
good.
14 times. But to what I said earlier, he's getting better. All 3 of those top 10s have come in the last 6 races.
How many in the new car?
Well, there's only been races here. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can find that for you real quick. Hold on. All right. Spring race this year, he finished 26th. Last year, he finished 10th and 7th. So 2 out of the 3.
Most important one was in April, though. What do you make of that?
I don't know. I'd have to go back and, did he have issues or, finished 26th, he could have had issues and just, ran around. Hold on. Let me go back to the other page. 2023. Oh, that's 22. 2023, Richmond. Ryan Blaney finished 26th, 1 lap down. Do, 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 do. 21% of the laps in the top 15.
That's not good.
So he might have had an issue early. I don't know. Let me check one more thing. What number is he?
What, in terms of what?
His car, 11?
Ryan Blaney?
Yeah, what car number is he driving? 12.
Did you have a fucking stroke? Yeah, 12.
All right. So on lap 96, him and the 9 car had an accident in turn 4.
Oh, okay.
What was the result of the accident? I don't know.
All right, that's fair.
So he had an accident on 96 lap.
That's fair.
So that's 25% of the race, right? So I said he was in the top 15 for 20% of the race.
Yeah.
He very well may have been in the top 15 for the majority of the first 96 laps. I don't know. Do you watch the race?
I did, but I had it on in the background. While I was figuring out what I was going to do with the truck series today. Truck series is just bread and butter, man. That and Cup, I know. All right, so I guess we'll put a bow on the Cup series. Both of us have not bet anything yet. Oh, other than the quarter unit on Alex Bowman at 60-1. But we haven't bet anything else in the Cup race as of now. Obviously, I'm sure we will after practice and qualifying, but nothing yet. I do want to talk about
12 minutes left in this game, and they're at 25 points. So
you're going to hit it?
I don't know. Let's hope they don't score 23 more points. Or 24 more points, excuse me.
So Xfinity, did you end up betting the top 5s with pieces?
I don't have anything in Xfinity.
Neither do I. I haven't bet anything. Dinger gets the pole. The guys that we thought would be in the top 5, Custer, Allgaier, they ended up finishing, I think, qualifying in the top 5. Let me pull that up real quick. Yeah, Custer 2nd, Allgaier 3rd, Riley Herbst 4th, Sam Mayer 5. So that's a little surprising. I didn't think Creed would be 12th or Hill would be 14th either. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you try to beat Allmendinger, Coop, or do you try to get on Allmendinger at a good price?
What's a good price? 5?
Yeah, that's a good price.
I mean, I think that would be a good starting point. But, I mean, obviously what did he come back at? He was even money to minus 110. I mean, is he minus 130 now since he's on the pole, 140?
Let's see what DraftKings has. Minus 125 at DraftKings.
I ain't betting that.
Minus 125 at Caesars. Minus 125 at Superbook.
I mean, did you watch practice?
I watched summer practice. They at the beginning they were all over the place. They could barely stay on the track.
It's a new surface. So
yeah.
I mean, I saw where the guy ran 3 miles an hour faster this year than what he did last year on his pole lap or something.
Yeah.
So is there a turn? I don't think there's a turn at that track where mass chaos happens, right?
No, but there were some interesting turns where they didn't know how to gauge it, and they would just go right into the grass sometimes.
Right. But like,
you're asking, is there that big turn 1 bottleneck type turn?
Right.
No.
Then yeah, because like, I'm not going to take my chances that AJ Allmendinger just happens to miscellaneously miss a turn in clean air when he's leading the race.
Right. I kind of think that I agree with Philly. I think that the number on Allgaier is interesting, considering how good he's been lately and how good he's been on road courses lately.
I want to sum this up for you.
Yeah.
you basically have what happened last night in SRX, where you have a Kyle Busch against all these drivers who have started fourth or fifth, who methodically made his way to the front, and we just wasted money on him. That very well could happen tomorrow by betting Allgaier, Barry, Custer,
Right.
blah blah
Right.
blah 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 blah.
Right. But you're basically making the decision to either try to beat them or pass on the race, or at least the outright margin, unless you're going to try to get a better price on them.
Top fives, I think. I don't know what they are, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure nobody has them.
Yeah, I don't think we have them yet. A lot of books don't even have odds, period, for them yet.
Right.
Xfinity.
They probably won't until noon tomorrow.
All right, let's talk about trucks, because we do have some action. We do have some action in the trucks. So, actually, let me share the screen so I could actually put it up for people.
Billy said he would love to have a 500 on Dinger.
Yeah, we can get there for sure. All right, so right now, I bet Friesen over Sanchez, matchup-wise, plus 105. And then we have Enfinger and Majeski at 19-1 and 15-1, parlayed with a couple fights to start round 2 tomorrow night for the UFC. I also bet, I didn't put it on the spreadsheet. I will put it on the sheet at whatever the best available number will be once I figure it out. But I did take a flyer on Ben Rhodes with those fights to start round 2, and it was around 50-1. I think it was like 49.80 to 1. And then I took Ben Rhodes top 5 with those same fights, and it was like 10-1. And then because Coop had mentioned Matt Crafton earlier in the week, which I understand, Thor Sport looked very, very, very good today. So I took a flyer on that. He was like 6-1 to hit the top 5. And with those other guys, it ended up being like 20-1. I did not put those 3 plays on the sheet, but I will put a couple of them at the best available number tonight when I get in my bed. Coop, truck race wise, do you still feel good the same way about Majeski and Enfinger as you did? And Enfinger looked worse than I thought he would in practice, if I'm being honest.
I feel great about him.
All right. So then I feel, all right, we won then. All right, let's go.
Like, hold on. Let me pull up that. I thought somebody put 10 lap speed in the Discord. Yep, there it is. Hold on.
10 lap speed, Eckes was the fastest.
Yeah, but like Grant Enfinger, all right, he was probably 17th to 20th. I'm not counting all these people, but somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah.
And he was only 1 to 2 miles behind half of them, and then another 1 to 2 miles behind the other half. And his 10 lap run was 15 to 24.
So you're saying that he had tires that were worn when he made those numbers?
Right, like Ben Rhodes. All right, so hold on. All right, so he ran a 108 from lap 15 to 24. All right.
Right.
This Christian Rose was 1 mile an hour faster at lap 1 through 10. Christian Rose isn't going to be faster than him when he at lap 15. All right.
So what do you have? What have you bet right now? You have the parlays tied to Majeski and Enfinger, and that's it?
Correct. To win in top fives.
To win in top fives. So is your
But
plan?
like I did a quarter of the unit on 5 fighters to start round 2,
Right.
and then I did a quarter of unit on both of them with 5 fighters to start round 2 on DK, and then on 365 I did a quarter of a unit with both of them to go over 1.5 with 3 fighters.
I got you. I got you. And
then the top 5 is tied to 3 matches.
That's what I did too. I did that for I didn't do it for Enfinger, but I did it for Majeski, and it came out to like 3-1 or 3.5-1. I'm going to put all my action for the Truck Series on the spreadsheet because most weeks this year I feel the best about the Truck Series. We have destroyed it. Like, man, if there was no Xfinity, we would be up so much more money than we are. But I don't like posting bad numbers. So whatever the best available is what I'll post. But so do you plan on adding anybody in the outright market, or are you going to stick with those 2?
Those 2.
I only have those 2 in roads, so we're basically right there. What did you think about Friesen? Did you think Sanchez looked better than Friesen?
Oh, I didn't watch the race. I mean, I'm just looking at a piece of paper.
Yeah, I'm just talking about times. Yeah, practice time.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, I don't think Stu was on that list. Hold on. Yeah, Stu might not have run 10 laps consecutively. No, excuse me, he did. He was 6th. He ran laps 1 through 10. And Sanchez was 7th, who was right behind him. So, yeah, I would take Stu over Nick. I feel good about that.
All right.
Like I said, the only thing that concerns me is like Stu's pit team. It's like he's got like a Chris Bell, Denny Hamlin type pit team. That'll screw you in a heartbeat.
All right, so I feel pretty good. I mean, my gut says you and I are not going to have a lot of action going into this Cup race on Sunday.
Oh, we are. We're going to build the Field of Dreams parlay, man.
Can I pick up 15 units tomorrow night in that truck race first before we start building 9 leg parlays?
Yeah, but then we don't have 9 legs to live on.
That's true. That's true. It's a catch-22.
Right. Unless you want to start betting some tennis and some darts
no,
croquet and what's that one? Hold on. That we can bet. Hold on. We could bet. Where's it at, man? Maybe it's not on this week. Did the season end?
What?
Oh no, there it is. We can bet the big 3.
The big 3?
Yeah.
What is that?
That's that basketball you were watching, man. Where they were, 3-on-3.
Oh yeah. No.
Tied in with a little baseball?
No, never.
So again, we don't have 9 legs to live on.
Yeah, I got to find a way to get on Allmendinger to win the race. That's going to be my Xfinity action tomorrow. 1 play.
Billy, I'm just going to watch Heim, during the race, man. I kind of look at him like William Byron. Like if he starts up front, like on the pole, he can do really good. But then, he falls back after leading a bunch of laps.
I was concerned about him, and you said to me, I was like, Coop, that car is the best truck every week. Doesn't matter where they are. I fear that truck. And you were like, yeah, fuck them. I don't. I was like, all right, Coop.
I don't fear him this week, man. Not like the other weeks.
I want how many people are watching the show right now? 32 people. You guys will all bear witness to the end of our friendship if Christian Eckes wins the race tomorrow. Because I said to Coop, Christian Eckes is going to run well. I'm telling you right now, he's going to be a player. And I think we should bet him. And Coop said, he ain't doing shit. He ain't going to be good. This isn't his format. But sure enough, first in consecutive 10-lap average, starting in the third row, kids full of piss and vinegar. It will be the end of our friendship. I'm telling you right now.
I'll watch Days of Thunder with you if Eckes wins.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, write that down, Philly. Get out the fucking notebook. Days of Thunder.
I have to put it down to that because you can't get 100 to 1. We'll have to back off of that bet. You struggle with that.
Yeah, 100 to 1's tough to get. He likes Eckes too, Philly said. Yeah, I know, bro. I know. I like him too. Coop doesn't like him.
Not that I don't like him, man. I just don't, think he's going to finish well in the top 5.
That top 5 number is not bad too. It's like 2 to 1. What do you make of this William Sawalich kid, Coop?
The kid's 16 years old, man.
I can't believe he qualified that well. He didn't look bad when you look at.
He's a young gun, man. It's going to be a name to remember in a couple of years.
Do you think Matt Crafton's live to win?
I kind of think this is like Matt Crafton's the Chase Briscoe of Cup. Like this sets up really good for him.
Yeah,
he's had a really rough year, but like if I was going to back him, this would be a race that I backed him, and that's why. Like when I gave you 5 names, and he was one of those 5 names.
Yeah, I gave you 5 names too, but you poo-pooed one of my names.
Well, 2 of them.
Who was the other one?
Corey Hine.
Oh, yeah, the guy that's fucking in the first row. Yeah. Unbelievable. All right, boys. I guess that's
it. Doesn't matter where you start, buddy.
Yeah, it only matters where you finish. So check the website. There will be more plays before I go live at 3:00 tomorrow. There will be more action on the sheet. Other than that, we'll be back at 3:00 and we will be live all day and night. We got 2 races tomorrow. We got a UFC 291 pay-per-view. Why not us? A lot of opportunities to make some money this weekend. And then Sunday, Coop will be live with me at, I think, 3:00 for the Cookout 400. He'll probably pop in tomorrow night around 10:30, ready to go. That's it, boys. 35-unit week. We're going to try to do it again. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. For Coop, I'm Keg. We're out. Later.